And welcome back, wargame enthusiasts, to the the alternate reality where we didn't lose. Let's try this again, this time with feeling. Yeah, go there. Same plan, basically, but executed smarter. Go. Let's not squander our advantages once we secure them. Yes, sounds like a good idea. Not squandering advantages. Yeah, the tanks move forward. Like I said, it's the same plan. There's nothing new here. I really don't feel like doing this mission any other way. Well, other ways to do this mission is to set up somewhere in those hills and try to fight from over there. The problem is you still have to take this this bridge. You usually take it. You can take it with marines or something like that. You can have marines set up here and just move forward from here and try to destroy the yours, but they're pretty fragile and there's a lot of orcs in the area, so it doesn't usually work out. Yeah, you can move through those hills, land a thunderhawk there, try to approach the enemy from that direction, basically land some infantry, shoot them up, attack with tanks from the other direction, so have a sort of pincer movement, but it doesn't really get you to the objective, and the objective is really what you want to take in order to finish this mission quickly, which is really the objective at this point. Okay. Yeah, they're running, so we'll just focus on cleaning that. And we're going to keep the tanks at a distance far enough to prevent the enemy from closing, but close enough to maybe fire at those units over there. Makes sense? Makes some kind of sense. Alright, so... Good enough? Good enough. And we're not going to make the same mistake. We're going to leave the like at least one shot of autocannon, no, of last cannons alone. Last cannons, big laser jobs, very good at piercing armor, stuff like that. There's two of them firing at the same time, which means that sometimes they can take out additional infantry. There we go. That works, I think. And these guys, again. Let's try for here. Artillery, very hit and miss, no pun intended. You can use it to thin out enemy infantry. Like, it's really great when you have other types of artillery that can take buildings out effectively, which is why I use it. Basically going into a town. If the enemy is holding up in a town, basically, and if you've got artillery, you can just take care of all the units in the buildings very quickly, because once the building collapses, everything inside dies. There we go. Some fire. You know what? I'm thinking if the actual war buggies start closing in, we're screwed anyway, because first the infantry is going to waste our last cannon rounds on the infantry themselves. Still, we're winning for morale now, so let's just keep on slogging. Let's not be as hasty this time around. Hello. Fire, fire, fire. Unless we moved one of them back a little, that'll work. So what can you do? That then? Come on. Come on. Jeez. You can't do anything. I think. Yeah, you can't do anything because these things clutter up the view. They actually block line of sight. Let's fire over here then. It's kind of interesting. I didn't expect to lose in the first game. It sometimes happens. It's it's really a battle I try to get over with as soon as I can, so I can get to the more interesting stuff. There's actually two sort of set-piece battles that you basically can't really have too much fun with, apart from just doing the standard thing. This one and the next one, and then it gets a little bit more interesting as we get more troops and we have some decisions to make some risks, stuff like that, but here it's pretty straightforward. And sometimes you just lose because it's Warhammer, right? Yeah, when I was a kid I really liked Warhammer, and that shows you how dim of a kid I was, I guess. Because it's a very random game that I don't really understand even now. Not that it's super complicated, it's just super random. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't just slag off Warhammer. I don't know. It's just that it's a great sort of starter game for a kid to get into tabletop wargaming, because it has this sort of colorful universe and space marines and orcs and all these dark characters and, you know, whatever, everything. It's got everything. But as a sort of game system, some of the editions are very complex and too complex, like the second edition, which is when I started playing, the one I started playing, which you can tell my age from that, I suppose. Now Warhammer 40k is with like 17 million editions by now, and they're much more simplified from what I've heard from people. I no longer play, so I don't know. Well, I still have my figs somewhere in a closet. I know 3rd edition was very simplified with regards to 2nd edition. I also played 3rd edition and it was pretty okay, and then the further I got along it seemed to be more and more simplified, and that just didn't appeal to me at some point. I preferred a little more realism, I suppose, in my tabletop wargaming, which is always a tricky thing in tabletop wargaming. Because you still have to play with dice. Shit! Stupid bloody warbuggy. Didn't attack me though. Hello, warbuggy. I have missiles. Ah, there we go. That's Thunderhawks for you. Alright. Well, this time around, his gambit didn't work, so good job us. And we're taking out infantry left and right, which is great. Is there anything you can shoot at? No. You? No. You? No. Let's move you over here then. Let's move you forward, forward, one more forward. You can't move forward, you can't move forward, and let's just stick you here. Now then. Tempted to move the Thunderhawk, but I learned. Also, I was going on about Warhammer, I think, and I stopped. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, tabletop wargaming. Very hard to get realism without bogging the game down too much, because you still have to play with pen and paper if you really have to, but just dice and cards and things like that. So, too realistic games tend to get a little rule heavy and a little complicated. Yeah, but Warhammer errs on the side of simplicity and goes that way too much, I think. I always thought. Also, I hate special rules in any game. Anyways, enough this rambling. Playing Epic. Epic was a board game that I never played. Not a board game, like a tabletop board game that I never played, but I heard it was very good. It's still being supported. I think when I was still playing 40k, but no longer supported, I think. Although some people still play it. Apparently a very good game to play. Don't know, I just don't know. I believe them when they tell me this. Yeah. Okay, let's just continue on this course. We have one objective, the enemy has one objective. We have long-range firepower, which means that we're taking enemy units out, which means their morale is dropping faster than ours. So if you continue on this course without losing too many units, i.e. a full platoon of Ultramarines and a Thunderhawk, then we can probably persevere. Sometimes a long slug is to our advantage. Also keep them at a distance. When they get close, this infantry gets really tough to beat, especially in large numbers, so... And now they're pretty helpless as I fire at them with my autocannons. Man, I love this music. Our turn! 7. Move up. What can we do? We can fire at those guys. Fine then, let's do that. Let's leave a round of last cannons. What can you fire at? Nothing. What can you fire at? Fire at those guys. There we go. Good job. Again, not going to move my Thunderhawk. Although I'm so tempted, because otherwise it's just sitting still. But if we lose it now... all that infantry... Okay, let's do it. Fuck it. Doing it. YOLO and all that. This time closer to the ground. Shit! Go away! There we go. Don't... No! Shit. I could unload here. No. Go! No! Shit. Fuck. Wasn't supposed to happen twice. Although I guess I did take my chances. Well, whatever. No, this time though, we have the upper hand still, I think. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. If I repeat this to myself enough, it will happen. It's the secret and all that. Yes. No, we have to do it. I don't feel like playing this again. We do it or no bloody video. Yeah, but we have 100 points of advantage there in morale. We should be okay. Well, a little less than 100. As long as we don't start losing tanks, we're fine. That's my pronouncement. Can't fire at anything. See you now. Open-topped war buggies. They could die from those rockets, although they're mostly anti-infantry weapons, I think. Now that I think about it. Like from... I had a whirlwind model for 40k. Not epic, just standard 40k. It was very good anti-infantry, very bad against everything else. Very scatter, sort of prone. But enjoyable. You had this huge template you could place on the table, and in one of the earlier editions you also had to guess the range to fire it, so you would just say, you know, like this direction, this angle, 24 inches for instance, and then you'd see if you calculated correctly or not, which I was pretty good at, estimating lengths in inches. Yeah, so usually pretty good, but then you'd have to roll a die to see if it actually hit where you wanted it to hit, and usually it's scattered. I think it had like a 2/3 chance of scattering 2d6 inches in a random direction. There you go, I still remember the rules. And the numbers were anti-infantry, like the statistics of the weapon itself was pretty much just anti-infantry. Not that it mattered, because I usually played people who didn't have much except for infantry. Alrighty then, continue. Still winning. I couldn't shoot at anybody because they're out of range, but now as they're moving about, we can take a couple of shots, and that's fine. But we can't see anybody. Okay. Hello. 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 We basically have to keep firing at them to keep the suppression up. That's the goal, at least. Let's fire at this guy some more. You can see the crater that we've dug underneath. It actually beats movement, stuff like that, so that's a nice touch, I guess. Fired somewhere enough. There will be craters. Makes sense. Very realistic. Continue. So 100 points ahead, still losing it like a bit by bit, but we should be okay. Okay, our turn again. I don't think he has many troops left, many effective troops left especially. So yeah, they're just dug in a forest somewhere there, which shows you the strength of the AI. I guess it shows you why difficulty is increased by giving him just more troops. More troops means he has more rolls. More rolls means he has a greater chance of hitting something where he does actually fire. Yeah, but so yeah, the AI sometimes does this, digs infantry in randomly, pretty randomly, and just keeps them there. So if you want to take that position or move along, you have to face the overwatch fire, which isn't great. Yeah, you just lose units. It's not particularly hard to get into a position to defeat those infantryans, but you lose your own units, which is detrimental in the campaign. I feel as though I'm already rambling again. Okay, took care of that war buggy, means the enemy has 30 points left. Let's try and take something more out. That should be enough to win. This time I'm not worried. Except our guys, great at firing. Great at firing. Yeah. Yep. Okay then, 15 points left. Next turn they're definitely losing that. So... let's fire at this one then. Maybe we'll get lucky. Not lucky. Okay. Yeah, there we go, 0. It's done. I think those are the only troops he has left. It's pretty good. We lost 5 units of Space Marines and 1 Thunderhawk. Who knew? Okay then, cutscene. That's our Thunderhawks landing. 2 of them, 3 of them. None of them are shot down and destroyed instantly, which is uncharacteristic. There we go. So, Dark Angels. We've been commanding Ultramarines, and in the cutscene we get Dark Angels. If you're unfamiliar, they're sort of, or at least back in my day, they were sort of Crusader Knights, superhuman sort of guys that were basically shock troops for the Empire there. And we're going to continue playing not the shock troops for the Empire, just the regular infantry and regular tanks and stuff like that. That's the commissar. He's sort of our aide-de-camp, and he's a dick, and not a very effective combat unit in the actual game, but can sometimes use him for like close quarters fighting. Anyway, he wears a fancy uniform. He's a commissar in the sort of Soviet sense. He gets to kill people on a whim, and he's here to control us, and aid us, and/or. This is the map of Volistad. We have to take like all of it, basically. I guess we have to kill Warbus Kroll, the main villain of the piece. We start here. I think he's here. So, and this is our initial force. some infantry, some APCs, and some thud guns, which is basically light field artillery. More infantry. Here's our commissar. Our commissar comes with his own APC, and we've got a bombard, which is artillery that's great at demolishing buildings. With this force, we shall enter into the next battle. After I save, and I'll be back later, I suppose. See you then.